All right, let's see what happens here. Yo, what's going on, Sammy? Corey, what's going on? I'm excited. I'm excited for Corey to be here. I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm see what happens with you. How have you been, bro? I don't know if you want to come on stage. I know that you're in the e-com space. You might find this kind of interesting.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, how are you?
Good you.
Had a nice chat over the last day with your friend the Trenzy Michael. So that's how I got here.
Oh, interesting. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
uh, what? I was just in a room with like was like a Jewish room. Is it Shalom? Is that how you say it? You know what I mean? Like welcome, I think it is. I don't know. I sound super like uncultured right now. Trying to sound cool. Didn't work out. What's up, Julia? How are you doing?
Good, good. Long day at work, you know.
Long day at work, huh? Oh man, sorry to hear that. Yeah. So for people that are hopping in right now, I know that the app today has been experiencing like a shit ton of bugs and errors and stuff. So I'm not sure if the room will just kind of stop. Hopefully not. But I know that it's been a little bit shitty today. I think they're pushing out an update. So just for people who are kind of tuning in, if the room does end abruptly, it was not me. I just seen it happen a few times on Clubhouse and a few other rooms. So thought I would just mention that really quickly. But yeah, so for people that are tuning in right now or hopping in, wanted to talk about TikTok ads. I know if anybody who's actually been on TikTok recently has seen a huge bump in TikTok ads and seeing sponsored ones and stuff like that, which is cool and which is great and all that stuff. But I think the big problem is that most of them don't really know what they're doing and they don't really know how to actually make them convert for the most part. So we wanted to kind of do a room about why your ads suck, what you could improve on, what you could do better, etc. And then hopefully in the future when you do run ads, you kind of have a better idea of what's going on and what's happening versus just kind of shooting at the hip and hoping that something works and something doesn't happen or whatever. But for anybody who is listening right now, if you go on the website liveonclubhouse.com, I'm doing an actual walkthrough so you can actually see visually what we're talking about and you can actually see the ad that we're talking about specifically and kind of see what to do and what not to do and you know what we're actually talking about. But for everybody that's on stage, I don't know, do you kind of want to just like talk about briefly TikTok ads? Like, I mean, I've been comparing with traditional ads and they are completely outperforming on pretty much all the verticals I would normally test in terms of like Facebook ads or Instagram ads or YouTube and stuff like that. But I don't know if you maybe want to talk really briefly about the actual TikTok ads, what you're kind of seeing conversion wise, and then maybe we could just move into the actual, again, if you go on liveonclubhouse.com, we could show you an example of good ads, break it down, and then bad ads and break it down. You'd be like, don't do that, do this, do that, do this. But yeah, I don't know if you want to quickly talk about it real quickly, the ads aspect of things and what you're kind of noticing and why we should even pay attention to it.
100%. Well, Michael, thank you very much for having us here. I'm really happy to be here. Corey, I see that you joined the stage. I'm glad to see you here as well.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right, so TikTok ads. Just to give you a brief first history about who I am and the company that I work for. I work for Transy, which is a agency that works for TikTok ads. So we do TikTok ads, we do TikTok advertising. We've been doing that for probably over 2 years now. And when we started, we were trying actually to do the same, kind of like trying the same ads that we do on Facebook and Instagram. We tried to do the same thing on TikTok, but we realized that it didn't work at all. I mean, we tried as many angles as we can think about, but like it didn't work. So we realized that what works actually on TikTok is content that looks kind of like the organic content that you might see on TikTok, right? Like more the talk to camera, organic UGC style user generated content. So we started actually using that on TikTok, and it performed really well. And like as it performed well, we thought that we would try that as well on other platforms, Instagram, Facebook, to name just a few. So we tried that there as well, and we realized that it also outperformed any other kind of ads that we tried on those platforms. So UGC, I would say now, and more companies now realize that is the way to go. Because it comes across as more authentic. It comes across as more, I would say, organic. So people, like feel more in ease with that. You know, like people trust that more than I would say a robotic voice of a company, right? Like trying to push their sales because it comes across kind of like a, I would say, reviews. For me personally, you know, when I go online and I see a product, I tend to go to reviews, right? Like to see what other people, other users say about that product, right? Because I trust that more than what the company actually says, right? Like in their messaging. So those UGC ads, you know, like that content that is used on TikTok, you know, like when you use it on other social media platforms, people see that kind of like reviews because it's kind of like people just talking about your brand, right? Like talking about the product or talking about the service, about their experience, and normally from our experience generates more sales, generates more conversions, I would say, and even more clicks on the ads that you know we used when we used UGC ads.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, one of my critiques that I have with TikTok ads, and I think just TikTok in general, so if anyone's here trying to get familiar with TikTok and ads and all that, it's not really about the perfect polished piece of content. It really is about more incepting people and getting people more influenced by the content and the story and some very simple kind of like, I don't know, these simple little practices that don't seem like a big deal, but you can literally see a big conversion. And by the way, for people that are trying to figure out TikTok ads, Reels just released their ads platform or the ability to, you know, run ads for Reels. And it's going to be more or less the same practices. It's going to be the same kind of content, the same kind of inception piece, the same kind of storytelling and stuff like that. But maybe what we could do, just kind of getting right into it, if anybody wants to go right now, like go on your phone browser or your desktop, go on live on clubhouse.com. And I'm going to just kind of show you some actual videos. We can actually break it down, kind of show you more of like a, I don't know, a detailed kind of thing versus just us talking about it in theory. So if you want to, go ahead over there. And then for everybody who's on stage, I don't know if you want to like also go there so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you can actually, you know, kind of go along with it as well. But if you're there, it's like a little slideshow. Hit the video player and you'll be able to see like the actual like slideshow deck kind of thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through right here. So I think maybe the first thing to do is like, what does a good ad actually have to have? And like we have 3 examples. Is it 3? I think it's 3. Is it 2 or 3? I can't remember. I think it's 3 good ad examples of like how to actually create content that's meant to convert, to actually get people to click, to buy, to purchase, to go to the website, whatever your actual objective is. But maybe what we could do first is just kind of go through the must-haves, and then maybe we can actually go through some video examples and maybe break down that video and be like, this is what we're talking about. This is exactly what we mean. Because the biggest thing with right now with TikTok ads, and I think ads in general, really is coming down to the content. If your content sucks, then they're not going to convert, just straight up. And especially on TikTok, if your content sucks and doesn't pull me in within 3 seconds, I'm going to swipe up and I'm going to get a dopamine hit from somewhere else. So you got to just kind of have this. But I don't know if maybe Amanda or Cameron, Kamal or Julia wanted to talk about the must-haves, and then we can kind of go through like some actual visual examples that you can kind of follow along and be like, oh, that's what they mean. That's a really good example, etc.
Yeah, for sure. So I see the first one you have up here, Michael, is Dean's ad. So for this ad, we kind of went through something really authentic, and we didn't want this ad to be pushy at all. What we realized is when we had pushy ads, they were getting rejected. And this is also something really important for TikTok. You don't want your ads to be too pushy or to be too exaggerated. If they are, there's a really high chance that your ad will get rejected. So we can go through this ad and you'll see that you know, it's done really well. He sells the service really well, and especially for the age group we were targeting, which I think was 13 to 17. It's a really good example of stating what the service is and directing them to that service. So I don't know, Michael, if you want to play that ad.
Yeah, I'll play it right now.
But I also wanted to mention
you should
other
take
points
advantage of
is
their
that
tutoring
this ad is
services,
fairly
available
short.
24/7, especially with
Hooks you
finals
on it
coming
right
up. So
away.
you can go from
And
this.
there's a CTA at the end of this ad, which says swipe left, to get on the page.
If you have a
So
account,
let's
you should
check it
take
out.
advantage of their tutoring services, available 24/7, especially with finals coming up. So you can go from this.
Yeah, you know, I think one thing too is like the storytelling components. Like, oh, okay, I'm over here just talking and I realize I'm muted this entire time. Like, I'm like, why is nobody listening to me? Why is no one responding? Do I sound dumb right now? Oh, I gotta hate that. I actually one time I actually got jaded in the clubhouse room because I kept talking and everybody kept quote unquote interrupting me. And in my head I was like, man, fuck them then. And then I looked at it, it was muted. I was like, oh, okay. For the last 10 minutes, no one's even heard me this whole time. Anyways, yeah, I think one thing though, like maybe you could break it down even more, but you know, getting that initial story, this hook right here, having good lighting, making it personable, like seeing the whites of their eyes, the actual vibrancy. Like Julia, on your content itself, like I think you do an incredibly good job at that, where it feels like it's intimate. The video isn't far away, the camera's not at a distance. You're like close up. It feels like when you're excited, I'm part of like that scene, as if I'm like immersed in that room with you. I think from this ad example that you guys sent, like I think it does a super good job of it. I think also this little hand holding of the microphone thing, I don't know why, but this is so organic looking. It's not like you're holding a podcast microphone or something super polished. That would feel like, okay, they're a podcaster, they're probably somebody who's a professional. But I think when you see this little holding the hand of a little microphone, I think you kind of feel like, okay, this is just like an average person. This isn't like somebody who's like trying to sell me something. But yeah, I'll kind of keep playing it over and over if you wanted to kind of break it down a little bit more in terms of like the things they must have over here and the culture and stuff like that.
Want to see how can help you? Swipe left.
Yeah, let me just hop in here for a quick sec. I gotta give some more credit
you should take
to
advantage
Julia.
of their tutoring
What you're
services,
watching here in
available
this little
24/7,
Dean
especially
video,
with
talk
finals
to
coming
camera,
up. So you can
that
go from
entire
this
style, as far as it has existed within
to
our
this.
company, originated from Julia somewhere
Want to see how
in the realms
can
of
help
about
you?
a year ago.
Swipe left.
When we actually started this
You have a
Trenzy branch,
You should take advantage
TikTok
of their
branch
tutoring
of the
services,
advertising company,
available
it was myself,
24/7,
Julia, and Kamal.
especially with finals coming
And
up.
at
So you
first,
can go from
there were
this
some other people on the team or
to
working
this.
adjacent to the team who were more video editors. They would
Want
collect
to see how
footage, they
it
would
can
put
help
together
you?
ads.
Swipe left.
And then Kamal said, you know what, I'm gonna hire Julia and Cameron. You guys actually make TikToks, you're TikTokers, and we're gonna see how that works. And you know, we struggled and we struggled. There's actually some videos of
especially
me
with finals
twerking
coming
and
up.
wearing all
So you
sorts
can
of
go
costumes
from
in our
this
first couple attempts. At the end of the day,
to this.
Julia said, screw this. She grabbed her camera, she walked outside the office, and she started pacing around the building, talking into her phone, like into her
If you have
camera,
a
like on TikTok.
You should
Not
take advantage
too
of
far
their
off what
tutoring
you're seeing
services,
here.
available
That
24/7,
instant
especially
was
with
our
finals coming
first
up. So you can
promising
go from
ad
this
ever. Then I took that ad and
to
I
this.
duetted it in a TikTok style, and boom, we had our first
Want to see
big
how
winner.
it can help
And
you?
from
Swipe
really
left.
there, the entire company has started. So that sort of natural, talking directly to the camera, looking right into the lens, has been insane for us as far as growth.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Do you have a
Um,
account? You should take
so
advantage of their tutoring
when we first
services,
started, like
available
Cameron just said,
24/7, especially with finals
for
coming up.
us,
So you can
like,
go
we
from
tried
this
so many angles and we couldn't achieve nothing.
to this.
And like Cameron said, I just said, screw this.
Want to
Nothing's
see how
working.
it can help
I'm
you?
just gonna pull out my
Swipe
camera
left.
and I'm just gonna talk on the camera and I'm gonna put my face in the camera and that's it, you know. And that's what I did. And I guess it just seemed so organic and so like in your face direct that people just wanted to stay and like listen to what you had to say. My first ever ad talking on a camera, like it did very well. So, you know, seeing that happen, you know, we finally got the right answer to something, and then we kept trying more and more things with talking to camera, but adding more things to it, like answering a comment, doing a duet. You know, there's so many things that we did. But doing that, having that interaction with someone over the camera, that's why on TikTok I do talking videos. I don't do trending videos and stuff. I do talking because I feel like I'm closer with my following, just like as if I'm doing an ad. I feel like I'm closer with the people watching that ad, you know.
I think Julia, our first winning ad was yours talking to the camera, and I remember when I saw it, I thought to myself that it was a bit too like, I don't know, straightforward. I didn't think that it would work that well, and surprisingly, it worked really well. And just like first of Cameron's videos, actually first of Cameron's ads that he made. I hope that Cameron, you don't mind me telling that, but first.
Nah, go for it.
All right, so first of Cameron's videos that he made, it was actually him twerking. We're advertising bed in a box. For you guys who don't know what bed in a box is, it's literally a bed that comes in a box. You just unbox it, and it's a bed, right? So Cameron, because we were trying many different angles, right, back then, because we didn't know what works from what doesn't on TikTok, right? Like back then, there was no advertisers on the platform, so there was no one to copy from, or like no one to be inspired from, right? So we're trying everything, and Cameron decided to just put a wig on and started to twerk. Actually, that was one of his first videos that he ever made for us, and surprisingly enough, I mean, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. We thought that it would get like a lot of clicks, but it didn't. But you know, like that, just that talk to camera, straightforward. You know, like talking to people, passing the message. I think you know that's actually what works best, because that comes across as something very authentic. You know, like literally as somebody just giving a review or telling you know, about their experience with the brand, right? Like telling their story about the brand with themselves, their experience with the brand, rather than like promoting the brand itself.
You know, I was actually just thinking about this right now. I've never thought of this ever, and now I feel like a on the moment genius. But, well, maybe not genius. That's a little bit exaggeration there. But I think maybe if you want to get a good idea of what UGC is, which is user generated content, I think a lot of times people go on YouTube and they look up other ads, etc. But I think something that could be a fun little experiment is going on Amazon and looking at people's reviews. And a lot of times they'll leave a video, and usually those videos, if you see a super polished video on Amazon, you kind of know that they're an actual expert review person. But if you see something that's very simple and straightforward and to the point, that generally is like someone who's actually generating that content themselves. Like they're the ones creating it. They're the ones talking about the positives, the negatives, etc. So, you know, obviously, like look at the ones we're showing you, we're about to go through. But I think if you're just trying to find something that's around your marketplace or something that's around interest or level or whatever, that could probably be like a very simple, easy resource to find authentic user-generated content, and not so much, you know, like going on, you know, the Instagram or Facebook ads platform and looking at like people are running and stuff. You could, but it's a nice way to find something that's like super organic and natural. But all right, what I want to do is I'm actually gonna skip to the next ad real quick. This one right here. By the way, can you guys hear the audio at all, like on the website? I can't hear it on my end because it'll mess up everything. But are you able to hear the audio when it plays there? That.
Can you play it again?
Yeah.
Okay, I can take you there.
No, I can't hear anything from my side.
I hear it.
Oh, you hear it?
I can hear it. I'm playing it off the computer.
Okay, yeah. When it plays, you might have to like turn the actual volume on, by the way, on the actual website, so that you could like hear it and stuff. I just want to make sure. Two quick things for anybody. If you want the replay of this entire thing, DM Julia, I think. Yeah, just DM Julia, like replay, and then she'll send you like the actual replay, and then you can have this slideshow deck thing. And then I have a list of Google Sheets, or on a Google Sheet, of just like really good ad examples and then really bad ad examples. So you can kind of get like a 3-for-1 kind of thing. So hopefully when you're in this room, you can actually take something away from it and not just be like, oh, that was cool. And then hopefully you remember, like you can get kind of like a dynamic pack of like, you know, downloadables and stuff like that. But yeah, okay, so I'll play this again. Maybe we can walk through it. I'm going to kind of just spot things that I've noticed, and then maybe Julia, Cameron, Amanda, if you just want to like kind of weigh in. And then if anybody wants to come on stage and like ask questions or put input in, like by all means, please. I don't really want to run this like a webinar kind of thing. But one thing that I noticed really off the bat is this text right here. Like this is the actual text that you would use inside a TikTok. So it's like already kind of feels natural and it feels normal, the actual text, where I see a lot of people do some really cool effects or some really cool designs and layouts, but you quickly can just be like, oh, that's not TikTok. That's somebody using some other third-party software or like Adobe Premiere or something like that. So not that you don't have to do that on Adobe Premiere and stuff like that or some other editing, but I think this right here just kind of feels natural and feels normal to what we're actually seeing. And for anybody who's wondering what I'm talking about, just go on liveonclubhouse.com and you'll be able to click the video player and watch like an actual like video breakdown of what we're doing right now. But I feel like this alone right here just feels like super natural and super normal and like intuitive to the TikTok platform, and doesn't feel like something that's like outside of, you know, the norm or whatever. And then like, you know, this whole kind of trend thing, kind of having fun, kicks the door down, doing like some kind of funny skit or some stuff, and then just kind of like going with it feels more natural versus, you know, making it feel like, hey, here's the pros and cons list. It's kind of lame and boring. Where this right here feels like someone would actually make this. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it was something forced and pushed through, which is one of the must-haves. You know, very authentic and real shooting style where it's normal, it's natural, it's not a push, it's not a hard sell. It's just like makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you feel a certain emotion, and then hits you with a call to action of, hey, you should probably download or swipe up or swipe left or click my bio or whatever you want to do. But I don't know if you guys want to break this down a little bit more in terms of like why this ad performed good, and then maybe what people should take away from it.
I'll hop in here and say a few things. Well, first off, I want to give some credit to the creator here. This is one of our best creators. He is also an actor, and you can tell he's having fun. He also has maybe 100,000 or more followers on TikTok, so he's a TikToker as well. But he's got the multiple costumes. At first, he's got that really casual look. So I think something like this, which could easily, in my opinion, come across as cringy for a brand like they're trying too hard to relate, because it's a young guy, he's actually doing it, he's not apologetic about it. I think it kind of saves it, because I will say trends as ads are hit and miss. It's not a rule that they always work. Actually, the safer bet is what you saw in that last video, which is a talk to camera. Talk to camera is the safest bet, and a trend can really go one way or another. It depends if the trend actually can relate naturally or naturally enough to the brand or the service or the product. If it feels hella forced, like we're just gonna take this brand, stick this boring product on it, and then, you know, it's like, I don't know, someone who's 70 years old but dyes their hair like jet black and no one's believing it. Not to be too ageist or anything, but just saying it looks a bit out of place. So that's what I liked here. He fit the role nicely and he really performed it.
Yeah, you know, one thing that's kind of like maybe worth mentioning is like the fatigue of the content itself. Like, it's not like you take an ad and you roll with it for a year and it's going to keep performing really well for TikTok. Like, there's, in my opinion, a shorter window where you have to create a new piece of content and a new piece of content. But especially if you're doing it, like this video performed well because it's probably part of a trend and people were just like, oh shoot, I want to see what his take on it is, what his version of this trend is. But once the trend dies, that ad's probably going to die. Like right now, if there's any ad about the Renegade, none of us are going to click it because we're just like, it's the Renegade. Like that's old. Like who even wants to care about that? And that's kind of how I found Cameron and Kamal and Amanda. I was running ads and stuff like that, and I just didn't want to deal with the having to continually find talent to create content over and over again. So if you are going to do the ads yourself, or if you're going to like, you know, reach out to someone like Julian, Kamal, and Amanda and stuff like that, like that's, I think, the benefit for me was like I could do it myself, but I didn't want to have to figure that shit out and continually find talent, continually find new pieces of content or new UGC, because it can somewhat burn you out. And I do think that's actually the new wave of ads in general, especially with the iOS 14 update. Like, I think the new thing is you're going to have to continually create new content that's actually be served to people, because, you know, it kind of gets boring after a while. I can only see this one so much. I'm like, okay, I get it. You need help with your finals already. But yeah, I don't know if you guys wanted to weigh in terms of like, if you are creating ads, like what's the frequency that you have to rotate the content or try out new fresh content?
Yeah, Michael, so you're right about this ad. It did really well, but it only lasted for like a week, just because it is a trend. But if we go back to Dean's video, that one, I say lasted 2 to 3 weeks.
If you have a account,
just 'cause it's
you should
not a
take advantage
trend,
of their
you can see it all
tutoring
the time, people don't
services,
get fed
available
up with it. So you're
24/7,
totally right with that.
especially with finals coming up.
Cameron
So you can go
said, like,
from
a huge
this
point on, like, trends are a
to
hit and
this.
miss. They're a huge hit and miss, I find. You know,
Wanna see how
once in a while
we can help you?
will find something
Swipe
that will
left.
do good, and you know, this trend was very uppity and very like there was a vibe to it, I guess. But it, like I said, I'd prefer when making ads just having that talk to the camera look, because like just like Amanda said, you know, Dean's lasted a lot longer than Oliver's, and look at what happened. You know, the Renegade, exactly what you said, Michael, on the Renegade. I would never watch a video of the Renegade now. Like, just because it's old, it was past due, like, that was it, you know? Cancel it out. But then, you know, it lasts for that period, and then that's it. It's gone. It's gone forever. Like, I haven't seen, like, old trends come back to life on TikTok, just in general, on my For You. And there's a reason for that. Like, it's ad fatigue, it's trend fatigue, where, you know, people are just over it, you know? How long did the Adult Swim trend last for? You know?
I know. I was so hyped for the Adult Swim. I was like, yo, this is brilliant. This is such. Personally, I thought the Adult Swim was perfect for any business or creator because you just had to do it in your own kind of fun way. But honestly, last night I was going through TikTok and the Adult Swim one came up and I was like, nah. I swiped past it because like I'm tired of hearing that song. I was like,
You hear it all the time, and you're just like, fuck this. I don't want to listen to any of this anymore, you know? So that's why his trend just got that fatigue as well. So.
you know, it's funny too. Like for me, it's kind of how I could spot people who are a little bit slower on TikTok trends or just like short form content. Because a trend will be dead, and then I'll see people try to do it, like the whole text pointing thing. I'm like, nah, that was 6 months ago. Like you got to keep it moving now. So it's funny for me whenever I spot someone doing that. In my mind, I'm like, okay, they're new. They're trying. They haven't been on this for a while because their ad still has. I don't know if you guys remember. I seen an ad the other day with the animatronics. I don't know if you guys remember that trend that came out. I think last August or October, and I was like, yo, I don't know who made this ad in that company, but that song is dead. Like that shit is buried. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the other one really quickly. The other good ad to take a look at. I don't know if you guys want to break this one down. I actually haven't watched this one, so I have no idea what we're about to see. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about it. And again, for anybody who's here, two things. You can go on live on clubhouse.com. You can go ahead and watch this, what we're talking about. You can see the ads yourself. And if you want this slide deck, a Google Sheet with a bunch of examples of good ads and bad ads, and then the recording of this file so you can kind of watch it back with us talking, just go ahead and message Julia, like the word replay, and then she can send you this stuff. But I'm not sure if you want to go ahead and like, I guess, narrate why this ad performed well and like maybe some key takeaways for people to kind of, you know, think about when they're running their TikTok ads.
No, this is not a filter. This is a game that lets you shoot hoops in your home.
Specific question that you said to this?
Buckets.
Yeah, like why did this ad perform well? Like what's going on in this ad that you think made it like actually happen?
To download this game.
Which ad are we looking at?
It's Cameron's ad.
Oh, Cameron's ad. Okay.
No, this is not a filter. This is a game that lets you shoot hoops in your home.
It has the voice to text overlay.
Buckets. My man hyping me up.
TikTok feature, really organic.
Okay, Brent, can't get ahead of myself. Swipe left to download this game. No, this is not a filter. This is a game that lets you shoot hoops in your home.
It did amazing, and props to Cameron on this one.
Buckets. My man hyping
Thank
me
you,
up.
Amanda. I'm gonna break
Okay,
this
Brent,
down.
get ahead
kind
of
the
myself.
things
Swipe
you
left
did.
to download
So
this
we
game.
paired up with this company whose name
No,
I
this is
shall
not
not
a
say,
filter.
but you can see
This is a game
what
that
it
lets
looks
you shoot
like
hoops in
in
your
that
home.
ad that we're showing there.
Buckets.
Basically,
My man
the game
hyping me
is
up.
like paper toss. If you ever play it on your phone,
Okay,
mobile
Brent,
game,
get ahead of myself.
it's
Swipe left to download this
Flappy
game.
Bird or something like that. It's like an idle game. You just play it. It's really fun. The cool thing is that you're shooting hoops, and at the same time, it's got this like green screen effect where everything around you is the background. So I knew when we signed this client
No,
that
this is not a
it's
filter.
such a cool
This is a
looking
game that lets you shoot
and it
hoops
just
in your
looks
home.
like you want to download it and throw the ball into the net over and over.
Buckets.
That I
My
knew
man
that like we
hyping
didn't
me
need to
up.
do talk to camera. We can
Okay,
just show
Brent,
it.
get ahead of
People will
myself.
want it.
Swipe left
We'll be
to
down.
download this game.
So once we got the go ahead with them, we tried a few ads. Things were a bit hit and miss, and then I noticed people more and more. This is a while ago. We're starting to use that text to speech feature on TikTok. I would actually not categorize that as a trend. I would say it's like a feature.
No,
like,
this
I think
is
that's
not a
kind of
filter.
here to
This
stay.
is a
You're gonna
game
see
that lets
used
you
in
shoot
different
hoops
ways.
in your home.
So I thought it would be cool just to
Buckets.
show the game,
My man hyping me
play
up.
the game, and then have
Okay,
the
Brent,
text to
get ahead of
speech
myself.
kind of
Swipe
roasting
left
me
to
as
download
I
this
miss
game.
shots. Because it's really funny the way that it like roasts you, but it has no personality because it's text to speech. So I really just did that, super natural. The very first shot, you actually see me in the mirror And the reason for that is that I
No,
wanted
this is
people
not
not
a
to be
filter.
sure whether or not
This
it was
is a
like a
game that
filter
lets
on
you shoot
TikTok.
hoops in your
Because
home.
there's all sorts of crazy filters on TikTok, so I thought, man, they
Fuck
might
it.
think there's a
My
basketball
man
filter that they
hyping
can
me up.
use. So I used that angle as well.
Okay,
And
can't get
it
ahead
ended
of
up turning
myself.
out quite
Swipe
well.
left
And
to
it was
download this
actually one of
game.
the first times we've ever used text-to-speech in ads. And now that has basically turned into a whole new like category
No,
of
this is
advertising
not a
for us.
filter. This is a game that lets you shoot hoops in your home.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
it.
think that the
My
reason
man
why
hyping me
was
up.
inspired by Cameron and Julia and
Okay,
Amanda as
Brent,
well.
get
The
ahead
reason
of
why
myself.
ads
Swipe
perform really
left to
well is
download
because
this
it's
game.
organic look, right? Because like many people on TikTok use this feature, right? Like text to voice. You know, like using that as well, people, because I mean, companies don't use that at all. I mean, I've never seen an ad with that. I mean, or few ads use that. Maybe that now more and more ads use that because they found the same thing as we did, right? Like that this feature can actually be used in ads, but you know, it feels so organic, feels so authentic that people don't even think of that as being an ad. They just think that Cameron filmed himself actually playing this game, you know, like on TikTok, and just shared that with you know, like on TikTok. So that's the reason I think why it had such a success actually, and that's the reason why we had that great CTI of you know, like a little bit more over 20 cents, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think the central theme for me with TikTok ads,
No,
I would
this
say
is not a
Instagram
filter.
stories and now
This is a
Instagram
game that
Reels
lets
is like
you shoot hoops in-
trying to make it look as natural as possible, trying to think of who's the audience that's going to be watching it and like what do you want them to do or to get from it. So if you're trying to target someone who wants to do, who's into basketball, for example, and understands trends, like this right here just kind of feels like natural and fun. Like this is something that maybe my friend would post on their stuff, or someone on TikTok would just naturally post and be like, oh, what do you think of this, or what do you think of that, I think like, I don't know, I think that's like maybe a core takeaway if you are going to run ads for TikToks, or if you're looking to create content created, or if you're creating content for people on TikTok, is really think of like, how can this fly under the radar and seem as normal and natural as possible, and not making this, because like this app install could have been something crazy. It could have been the app popping up and an iPhone circulating around and crazy fireworks or whatever, but it's just instantaneously, it's just like, okay, this doesn't make sense. So I would say maybe in your head, if you are thinking about for TikTok ads, do the opposite of what normal ads are. Like, don't have a big budget, don't have this crazy scheme over it. Just think like, what's the most natural, normal thing, and yeah, like that's it,
100% right. Completely right.
Yeah, I think you're totally right on that. And I think the other thing to remember, and this is the really tough balance, is as natural as possible without being boring. Like, natural does not mean boring. It needs to be super natural, but also really hook people, which is difficult.
Yeah, totally. Okay, what I want to actually get into, because I think this would be even more better, to be honest, and like more educational, is like examples of bad ads, because I think there is a massive amount of bad ads. I actually have in my folder on my iPhone a folder of good ads and a folder of bad ads, and there is way more bad ad examples than there is good ad examples, because I think like the way that I measure it in a good ad in a very simple formula kind of way is not even realizing it's an ad. If I don't realize an ad, I think that's a win off the bat. If it's something I can spot instantaneously, like, okay, this is an ad, then I think off the bat, that's already a bad ad, especially for TikTok. And I would extend that to Instagram stories and probably Reels, where it's just like natural, feels normal. But I don't know if you maybe want to break down why this was an actual bad ad example and what you would want to avoid in this, and what's good or bad about it. I don't know if anybody wanted to go. And again, if you're just coming in the room, live on clubhouse.com, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, verbatim on the screen display, kind of like a slideshow kind of thing. But I'll go ahead and play, and if anybody wants to kind of tell us why this was actually a bad ad and why this kind of sucks, let me know.
So I'll go for this.
If you love to draw, if you're somebody who's super creative, why not consider a degree in graphic design? Perfect your skills and get paid to be creative. If you want to learn more, just swipe left.
Very nicely, as if she's your friend, but
if you love to draw, if you're somebody who's super creative, why not consider a degree in graphic design? Perfect your skills and get paid to be creative. If you want to learn more, just swipe left.
For someone like myself, who has
if you love to draw, or if you're somebody who's super creative, why not consider a degree in graphic design? Perfect your skills and get paid to be creative. If you want to learn more, just swipe left.
The video was like, what?
If you love to draw, or if you're somebody who's super creative, why not consider a degree in graphic design?
I'm not
Perfect your skills and get paid to be creative. If you want to learn more, just swipe left.
The background was completely boring. You know, everything about it just made you not want to stay and watch the entire video. Like, and I just, for someone like myself, you know, I wouldn't want to be watching that full ad, because already midway I'm bored, just like having a normal video on the For You that already bores you out in 15 seconds, you know? It's also those first 3-second count as well, where in those first 3 seconds, if you're not like direct and in someone's face with, wait, or stop right now, watch my video, you know? It doesn't get your video to go far enough if you just are calm and collective in the whole video.
Yeah, I think this will be a tip, I guess, for TikTok in general, but especially ads. Like 3 seconds. Like aim for that first 3 seconds. If you're not going to hook someone in, if you're not going to say something of interest, whether it's something you're saying, something you're visually showing, you're displaying, the text, the caption, if you can't grab someone in 3 seconds, you're going to kind of just do bad. Like it's just going to perform bad, to be honest. And that's just like the general one that I would say for most people on TikTok, or especially TikTok ads. So maybe also try to think of like, is what I'm saying going to grab someone within the first 3 to 5 seconds? If it doesn't, then you have to rework the ad. And it might be something simple as like something you're wearing when your hair, or a t-shirt, or, you know, the place and setting in the background, a noise, a facial expression, you know, something like you said, Julia, like, wait. Are you fucking kidding me right now? And you're on the phone and you're staring at somebody off in the distance. Like that is enough to be like, well, what is she talking about? Why is she so upset about something? Or if you're a guy, I'm just thinking of shit off the top of my head, so I have no examples, but like if you're a guy in the gym and you're maybe talking about working out or something like that, like you got to make it more of like that real initial impact thing where it's like, who's this guy right here think he is? Like now you're curious. Maybe another example, and like, I don't know, Corey and Rodney, I think you guys can talk about this if you want to, or anybody, but like creating open loops, like something where you open the loop where it's like something where you want to close. So by open loop, I mean saying a statement or an idea where now you have curiosity and you want to have that resolve. So if you're like, I can't believe my husband fucking did this today. Well, you're like, well, I want to know what he did and why is she upset and what's going to happen. Is she going to go talk to him? I think that's like one of the biggest things that you can and probably should do with ads, especially on TikTok other than just content, is like creating an open loop, getting people to stick around, giving them that little bit of a dopamine hit. We're like, oh, okay, that's what it was. Let me go check it out. But I don't know if anybody wants to weigh in. I'll shut up. I'm kind of rambling here.
Keeping them like interested is like such a great point, and I do that all the time, you know. Seeing like the final look of something is such a plus. Everyone is so interested, they're like invested in your video, you know. How you said, Michael, just now, like looking into the sky, looking into the view while you're on the phone with someone, and you're like, oh my god, wait, what? And people want to stay and watch.
If you love to draw, or if you're somebody who's super creative, why not consider a degree in graphic design? Perfect your skills and get paid to be creative. If you want to learn more, just swipe left.
It's a definite must. It's a definite must. Also, if I'd like to add to that, the lighting too in her video was very, very low. Wasn't as bright. I also do consider that, you know, making these videos, the lighting should be extremely powerful when making these videos, that these people see you full face, like ready, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if anybody, by the way, wants to hop on stage and ask any more specific questions. So if you are a business or a service or you have a product or something like that, and you're kind of wondering, like, should I throw some money into TikTok ads? If you have any specific questions, or even if you have an ad or something, you're like, hey, can you check this out? Or what would be a good idea? Maybe we can also like brainstorm some ideas of like, maybe try that out. Like definitely raise your hand and come on stage. That could be fun, you know? I'll go into the next one, the bad ad, and we'll kind of go through it real quick, and then, oh, look at that. Look at my typo, overall. If you're on the website liveonclubhouse.com, I totally spelled overall wrong and forgot an L, but I took the L, you know, from it. Get it? Pun, L, overall. Okay, never mind. I want to go ahead and play the video if you guys want to see what the ad actually looks like.
Maddie, I don't want to burst your bubbles, but everything's been closed for the past year. I doubt they're gonna just open up for marathons. Wait, you haven't heard about this yet? Heard
Oh,
what?
I just realized too, for anybody who's like not on the website, you're probably like, why is it so quiet? Why are they not saying anything on the website? We're watching the ad kind of play out. It's basically like, you know, put in your email, get early access to something. It's just her kind of talking, kind of using a water bottle, stretching, kind of going back and forth with like herself and somebody else. You know, the back and forth dynamic of things. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to quickly break down why this was probably just didn't perform and why it's boring. By the way, do you want to mention why there's like blurriness to the videos? I mean, I have an idea why, but for people who are there, like, do you want to mention why you keep blurring certain sections?
Yes. So that's pretty simple. We're just not authorized. So like, we don't want to use the actual brand names of the clients that we're working with. So that's why they're blurred, or there's little parts that are muted, just protecting the brands we're working with right now. Okay, so for this ad, you know, all things said and done, it's not bad. It's not horrible. In fact, we talked right before we had this meeting. We said we just looked through all of our kind of last few months of ads to find some bad ones. If we wanted to show some horrible ones, we should show you guys some stuff from like a year ago. So we actually were just in a meeting before this. We were thinking maybe that's an idea for another room. Is we'll go and we'll say, here's our ads when we started, and here's our ads now. But for this ad, you can see this is actually one of our top creators overall. She like crushes it, and just like everyone on our team, there's a lot of trial and error, and not every ad is gonna perform. Anyone who wants to make TikTok ads or run TikTok ads as a business, do not make one ad and then decide that it doesn't work for you. Like maybe after 10, you can decide. There's so much trial and error, even for us who are like super far down the line. But I think overall, you sort of said it in passing, it was kind of boring. Had an authentic feel, lighting wasn't super great, energy was sort of medium, and overall, it just felt like something that if I saw those first few seconds, I could keep scrolling. So yeah, I'll see if anyone else had something to add about that.
You know, one thing I kind of want to say is that, like, I'm a big proponent of this. If you're looking on the website right now, liveonclubhouse.com, she's eating toast which looks like butter. I love adding things that cause engagement. So I would have put some random shit on that bread that would be like, why is she eating that on the bread? Just to kind of spark that kind of curiosity factor of where it's going. So if like you put ketchup and like a hot dog on top or something random like tuna fish and I don't know, some like Cheetos or something, you know, just to kind of hook people in a little bit more to be like, what is going on here? Why does she have this disgusting looking piece of bread? I'm always a big proponent. I think it's kind of fun to throw those things in to get people to at least, you know, engage and comment and kind of, I don't know, get some kind of controversy or some traffic to it. I think we've all seen the watermelon with the mustard challenge on TikTok, which I haven't tried it yet. I kind of want to try it, but I also feel like I might puke from it. But it was enough to get people to be like, wait, what's happening with this watermelon and, you know, not ketchup, sorry, mustard, you know, on mustard on a watermelon challenge. But yeah, totally agree though. Like the video is good. She looks good. She has like the cool little outfit. It makes sense. It sets the actual theme and the tone of what's actually supposed to be about the video and what you're trying to do. Her hair looks messy. She's still cute, but she looks like she's kind of, you know, still kind of starting her day off and stuff like that. But I think to the point earlier, like, it just kind of feels long, kind of feels a little drawn out. It feels a little bit like, all right, well, let's get to the point already. So definitely agree with what you said for sure. But yeah, okay, so I wasn't sure if anybody was going to go next. So I think that's like all the examples that we have like actually on the website that you can go through. I don't know if anybody maybe wants to hop on stage, maybe ask some questions about like, you know, well, there's people on stage, so I don't know if they have questions, but maybe we can kind of go over what you got going on, what you're hoping to gain, you know, what your ideas are, maybe if TikTok is the right platform for you to run ads for, or if you just kind of want to pick the team's brain a little bit and be like, hey, how the fuck do I actually run ads, and can you just like help me do this so I don't have to figure it out? But I know there's a few people on stage. I don't know if like going in PTR order, Kari or Rodney or anybody else had any thoughts or questions that they maybe wanted to toss in or weigh in on.
I have a question, but it's a little bit off subject, so I'm not sure if that's okay to ask, and it's Instagram related.
Well, let me see first. Corey Rodney, did you have anything that you want to talk about really quickly about the ads and TikTok and stuff like that?
I was just gonna ask, what is the average time period for content to run out when you're scaling it generally with TikTok ads? Is it like a week period? Do they usually last fairly long, or?
So the ads get tired really quickly. We generally like to refresh our ads every 3 to 4 days because we see that there's a decline in engagement after that period. For some ads, they can run a week, but not usually longer than a week.
And are you guys ever able to revive them later on, or is it kind of like once they're dead, they're dead?
No, that's actually a really great question. With one of our clients, we actually do revive them. But again, you need to constantly keep reviving it every 3 to 4 days. So what we do is
If you have a
we run the
account,
ad for 3
you should
to 4
take
days,
advantage
and
of their
we see
tutoring
decline, then
services,
we'll kind of
available
wait a week or
24/7,
two, then try to
especially
revive
with
that
finals
ad.
coming up.
Then
So you
once
can
it
go
dies
from
down after
this
that, we'll wait a little bit, then try to revive it again.
to this.
Awesome, very interesting. Thank you so much.
There's
Wanna
one
see how
trick actually
it can
that we
help
used
you?
before. I'm not sure
Swipe
if we
left.
use it anymore. Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong. But before, what we used to do is whenever we run an ad and we see an ad fatigue, we just duet that same ad. We just have like somebody reacting to the ad. So you would have like a split screen. You would have the ad playing on the right, and you would have somebody reacting on it on the left, and that would give it kind of like a second life. I'm not sure if it works anymore. Amanda, correct me.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point, Kamal, that you brought up. So what we did do with our ads is, I mean, it costs money to create content. You know, you don't just want to put it all to waste, especially when it only lasts 3 to 4 days. So what we used to do is we used to duet those ads. Again, it looks super authentic. And what we used to do is we used to have another creator duet that ad. So it's kind of like a new ad. So that's just a great way of using your content in different ways and not making go to waste right away.
Hey, sorry.
No, go for it. Sorry.
Hey guys. Hey Michael. Thank you for picking me up. My name is Robert, and I'm a content creator, but I'm a lifestyle specialist. So basically, think of like the gay Black Martha Stewart. That's my thing. So I kind of do everything, and I show people how to live their best life exactly where they are, not basically Instagram perfect. And so my question actually is, I've been thinking about running ads on TikTok, but I'm concerned about it getting messy. And what I mean by that is, while I am the brand, I also have brand partnerships with other companies, and I'm now doing this big thing with PowerPlate, and they're on the landing page of my thing. So I'm just concerned at how I actually target one of my products without it being or looking messy or confusing to the potential consumer. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, it totally does. I think that Cameron and Julia would be best suited to answer this question because they are influencers in their own right. Each one over Julia over 400,000 followers, Cameron probably like 1.2 million followers, and they advertise for many products and all. I think that they would be probably best suited to answer this question. Cameron?
So Julia might actually be better because Julia does a lot of partnerships with other brands. But just to understand everything
I
you'd
just
be
want to
advertising,
understand
yeah.
by what he means messy, like, you know. Like,
So I guess my concern is, as the brand, and I'll use Martha Stewart because that just will make sense. So as Martha Stewart, if I am partnering with other people, so like if I'm partnering with Kohl's and my stuff is in Kohl's, but then I have my other pieces of merchandise also on my page on my website. If I'm attracting people to my website, I'm just concerned that I'm just concerned that if I am targeting one product, it may confuse them because they're like, wait a minute, but he doesn't just do this. He does that. So I think it's more about pinpoint marketing, and that is something that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm not sure how that would land with my viewers on TikTok. Does
And
that
what's
help
your
make
like
it sense?
what's your priority at the end of the day, Robert? Like what are you trying to sell the most? Is it your brand or Cole's brand, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm the brand, and so with my 1.4 million followers on TikTok, they basically buy the products that are a part of my brand. So I have a series of characters, and those characters have their own merch, and so they buy that. But as I have grown as a creator, other larger companies have reached out to me, and so I am brand partners with them on their products as well. And so when I say messy, it becomes categorizing what I'm advertising, because I'm always advertising something. I'm advertising a best-selling book right now. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm advertising in different entities. So at the end of the day, my goal is the goal of everybody else to financially make money. But in terms of ads, I want to make sure that I am doing it smart and targeting the right places at the right time. So that's why I have not pulled the trigger to actually advertise on TikTok, because I'm not sure if it's actually going to be financially beneficial or if I'm diluting what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. This is a great question. So when I first started out on TikTok, I was I was getting a lot of brands coming to me, and I didn't know like whether I should have take them or whether I should say, you know what, screw this, I don't want it. Um, but then I decided at one point just to take every single brand that comes to me. I started getting comments on my TikToks from like my fan base, and they were like, "Oh, she's always promoting something that, you know." And it came back to me, and I was like, "Wow, like, am I trying to brand myself as a creator, or am I trying to brand myself as a salesperson right now?" You know. So because of that situation, I became very selective with what I promote on my TikTok account. And I'm very, very, um, I don't want to, because now I understand how you meant the word messy. But I want to be promoting stuff, but I don't want to be promoting just the most randomest things. Um, I'm from Montreal, and I support my city very much. And I can tell you're from Montreal too, Robert.
Yeah, I'm just outside of Ottawa, so yeah, I'm just 2 hours from you.
Okay, sick. Well, um, I love my city so much that I had a podcast one day, and I said on this podcast where somebody was interviewing me that, oh, for Montreal people, I would do this free of charge. I would like to help out small businesses and make these businesses grow, but it just became too much, and I was just selling any kind of product. Hey Julia, can I send you a free water bottle? Can I send you a free this, a free T-shirt, a free hoodie? Like the hoodies, okay, I understand that. I could dance in front of the camera with a hoodie on. But like talking about specific products, like how do you expect me to sell a candle on TikTok? Like all I do on TikTok is talk a lot of shit. So how do you expect me to sell a candle, you know? So I calmed down. I really calmed down with what I did, and now I started working with big companies like Bud Light, Ardent, like things like that. Just that, I could do McDonald's Canada, things like that where
You have totally, Julia, I love you and thank you so much for this, because you've totally answered my question. You
yeah,
you
it's
you
just
are
like
you are
I'm in
no,
the same situation as you,
you are exactly you have proved to the point why I don't do the ads, because I don't, because you're right. Like larger creators, they just, like, everybody wants to have you do everything, and there's only so much bandwidth, and so
exactly.
I only do things that I like, and
Exactly. You should
I
only do
now
things
only
that you
things that
like.
you like, and I
Yes.
only I only do a few things. And as it relates what I actually did, and I'll let somebody else speak, what I actually did, I got frustrated. And so about 2 months ago, I created a separate account. And I've always sort of like been like, I don't know why people have 3 and 4 accounts. I did a separate account and none of the content bleeds over. So my second account, which is really, really, really tiny at the moment, but it's intentional. I don't dance on it. I don't do any of the TikTok shenanigans. It's basically my brand page. And so any of my major brands, anything that I'm promoting as a professional, it is my lookbook, basically. So if a Bud Light is coming to me and they're like, well, what do you do? I can show them I'm verified and I've got 1.4 million people over here. But if you really want to see the quality content that is just brand based, it's over here. And actually, I've gotten two one definite brand thing and somebody else I'm talking to from that tiny little account that only has like, less than 300 followers. So for me, I think having that brand page by itself has actually been all the ads that I needed. So
Yeah,
thank you so much
definitely.
for that information.
Oh yes, of course. But like at the end of the day, I only do things that interest me now. Like that, I put myself first before the brand. So whatever it is, like I see the brand, I go, oh wow, this would really work super well with me. Like one day there was this thing trending with coconut water and some fruits. A fruit company messaged me and I'm like, hey guys, send me your stuff right now. There's a trend on TikTok. I'm gonna use it. Things that are useful, but always put yourself before the brand. Please, Robert.
I think one thing that's worth mentioning too for anybody who is doing ads or influencers stuff like that, or is an influencer, is like one, most of these brands have no clue what the hell they're doing on TikTok, and they're just trying to take their methodology and their practices from other platforms and throw it and apply it here. And I'm sure anybody who's been an influencer on TikTok knows, like, they tell you to do shit that goes against the entire reason why they've even hired or reached out to you, and or they think they know better, but they absolutely do not. They don't know better. They really, really, truly don't. I've never seen a brand that knows better than the actual creators themselves. But I think the second part of that too is thinking longevity-wise, where it's like, do I take 10 brand deals this month, fatigue my audience out, lose the purchasing power or the influencing power, and then in the long run, when I launch my own stuff, are they still going to be excited to purchase, or they can still be excited to be a part of my community, or are they going to feel like, oh my God, another ad deal again? I think that's what I see just for influencers across the board on every social platform. It's like, are you here for the long run, or are you hopefully building your own brand, your own personal identity, and your own community and stuff like that? Or are you just going to be, just I don't know, someone that you can rent out. Like, it's like, hey, I got a thing. All right, I'll take it. Give me $1,000. Which, you could do that, obviously, for sure. But I think there's obviously like the pros and cons of that, and trying to find that balance of like, I know this is a really good brand deal, or not good brand deal, but it's a good amount of money. But is this going to be a hit or miss? Or is my audience going to be like, if you're a vegan, why are you promoting Butcher Box? Like, what? Why? I don't want to see this shit, So I think that's probably like something to mention, to throw in there. Really quickly, I know that Caleb popped up. I'm not sure if you have to go anytime soon, Caleb, but I wasn't sure if you had any question or anything that you want to toss in there. I also got the little red bar of death right now that said like they're experiencing connectivity issues on this app. So if the room ends, it wasn't my fault. Just a heads up. But yeah, go for it, Caleb.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, how's it going, everyone? I love the room and the discussion earlier on. This was like TikTok ads, and just for some context, like a while back, Amazon reached out to me to make 3 videos for them to be able to run as ads under their own handle on any platform. And it's one of those things. It's one of those ads that pops up when you open the app sometimes. Like they've been promoting one of them really heavily. It's one that starts with like Amazon work from home favorites, and then it's going right into it. But I've been wondering like why they went with that one over the other 2 I made. I haven't posted so there's the one I sent them that they're putting paid spend behind. There's one I haven't posted anywhere, and then there's one I posted on like my personal account. And I was wondering like if like I'm not looking for like free labor or anything, so it's okay if not. I was wondering if like you guys would be like down to like basically rip it to shreds. Like why, like what about like one of the assets that I made for them, like maybe why like that one, like why they didn't go with that one, like what could have been, like what sucked, what could have been better about the ad, especially because like it was shot at night, and so it's like it's like in a dark room. It's like a in my head it's like a well lit room, but basically like if anyone wants like rip it to shreds, I'm not sure if that's the right room for this place.
How would I even find it though? Like where would I?
For sure, I posted on my TikTok, and like I can just like I'm also not looking to like clout chase or anything, so I can like DM the handle to you or something. Or
what's the name? I can pull it up right now. The Caleb Chin.
For sure. Yeah, that one. And then when you look at my account, it's like the 5th most recent video. So it just like I think the thumbnail just says like Amazon. There's like a brown background.
This one right here. If you go on the website liveonclubhouse.com, it's the Amazon Fine Edition.
That's the one.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna mute. Should I play the audio? Because the audio might be a little. Actually, I'll play the audio. I can control it here. What the hell am I talking about? Hold on. Let me turn on the audio so it doesn't blow your guys' eardrums out. So if you guys are on the website right now, liveonclubhouse.com, I'm switching it over to Caleb's TikTok if you want to just check it out. And then, yeah, Julia, Kamal, Amanda, Cameron, anybody else, if you want to maybe like weigh in your thoughts on maybe why it performed well or tanked or whatever. Okay, I'll go ahead and open up, and there we go. Oh yeah, sorry for people who are not watching on the website right now. We're just watching. It's like 5 products that you must buy for whatever reason. So like one's a Logitech mouse, one's the wireless keyboard. Pairs of 3. That's pretty cool. Slim, sleek. Got another wireless keyboard. So it's them typing it out using it on the phone, using the computers. Try and do like a little verbal walkthrough. Okay, so it loops through. Okay, so I'm wondering, for anybody who did go on the website that are on stage, do you want to talk about it? I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are.
I think the first thing that I noticed here, and probably that, well, first of all, maybe that it's an accumulation of many things, but one thing that I noticed is that there isn't a clear call to action there, which is something that is very important, right? Like you want to drive actually the user or like the viewer to take an action, right? Like a clear action, telling them either to click to learn more, like to click to purchase or something like that. And I see in that video that it isn't any CTA that is visible there. So I would say that's one of the things that I think might be the reason why it didn't perform that well.
I totally agree, and what blows my mind, like they never really explained this, but when I sent over like the first round of like for revisions, they actually didn't want the CTA in there. They just wanted to be about the products, because I think like on Amazon, once the video is done playing, then there's like that little like icon that shows up where they can just like tap on a link and it takes them to the product, to like a landing page. But that and this is one, yeah, again, this is one they did not go with. But yeah, I thought that part was so weird too.
Yeah, they went a bit more probably like brand awareness than conversions, because like now we know about the product, we know that it's good, right? Like, but we don't know that there is actually an action to be taken, right? So I think that was maybe like one of their first mistakes. Maybe that Cameron, Julia, and Amanda found maybe like some other things there in the ad that would probably explain the reason why it didn't perform that well.
Well, what I will say, first of all, I like the titles. I like the use of the titles. I like the titles at the start, the way it's like 3 there in the middle. I thought that was pretty good. I know there's a TikTok watermark at the bottom, so I'm not sure if it was.
That's because we're on desktop.
Well, that's just on desktop.
Yeah, on desktop they have the watermark. So annoying.
I've never used TikTok on desktop in my life, but that's something that we always had to deal with our creators, is if they film on TikTok, they gotta like screen record or use another one of our tactics to get the video sans watermark. But yeah, it might have been a bit long. That's another thing I was thinking. I don't know what the length is on that, but it did seem to run quite long. A lot of the time we will do like top 3s if we do that style of video, not top 5s, just because it does end up running long. I gotta head out. I kind of had a hard leave at 5, so I'll leave you guys with Julia, Kamal, and Amanda here, and Michael, of course. But thanks for having me again, Michael. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so I'll just quickly go through what my perception of it is, and I'll just be like super blunt. So if you guys are on the website, go there. Brown background, pretty fucking boring. I'd probably want to put something behind it design-wise, or something that pops a little bit, just to grab attention, just a little bit more. It's not like a huge deal, but I think that would initially grab someone in. Let me see. I think when I was looking at it, like the lighting on the actual headphones, like the Bose ones, it looks a little bit plain. It doesn't look like kind of cool and doesn't really look like that unique or interesting. I think maybe because obviously you can only do so much with your hands and the camera focus and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to make this look super interesting or cool or whatever. But I think maybe, you know, just trying to spice it up a little bit through maybe lighting techniques or background elements, and maybe it not being brown in the background, maybe something that pops a little bit. But maybe just perform a little bit better. I know right here you put like last for years, must have for focusing. I wonder if like maybe you can get a little bit more detailed with the actual core messaging of who's that for. So must have for focusing, but like focus for who? Like for college students, for moms, like must have for focusing when your kids are screaming in the background. Like that little kind of funny little thing might be like, oh, huh, maybe I should like, that's meant for me specifically versus like just kind of general, which it's hard because you're trying to obviously appeal to like a super wide audience. One thing I would say too is like the screens right here that you have, I would either put something that's interesting Amazon related, something that has a funny video, something that was like a meme, something that has like a cool little funny picture of like a Frenchie doing a backflip or something. Like I feel like that was probably like really good prime real estate to put something there that would hook someone in. Like I'm not saying you would do this ever, but if you had Pornhub on there, like just the logo, like most people would be like, yo, my man's out here really with the Pornhub. Like you would probably drive a shit ton of comments. I'm not saying do Pornhub obviously, because you could never do that. You wouldn't get, you know, approved, but just something a little bit that would have pulled people in. I think the other thing too, especially with like the atmosphere of TikTok, like I would have loved to see some of those green or blue, yellow LED lights that are kind of like that kind of like content norm that you would see on TikToks itself, like around the desk or behind the computers, which would have cost you like $20 depending on where you're at in the world, and just kind of throw them up, or some kind of like a color splash around it. The mouse, again, the brown, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like whatever. I would say maybe use the actual mouse in a real kind of way that people would probably want a mouse like this. So if they're going through tasks, maybe if they're like this right here, you're just showing the mouse being used for going back and forth and a wallpaper. Like it's kind of boring, you know, but if you had like League of Legends here or some kind of a video game, or maybe you going through like a shit ton of like Excel sheets really quickly, I think that would have kind of pulled me in a little bit to be like, oh damn, he's out here like slaying it on this game. It's probably because that mouse is the key differentiator between why I suck, and if I get that thing, maybe I'll be a little bit better. But then also having like the whole LED light thing in the background, because that's just like, you know, the office kind of space culture on TikTok, the norm. I think there was one more product. Yeah, the keyboard. Maybe, and this one might be, I don't know if you could do this one because it's not meant for this keyboard, but keyboard ASMR is a very real thing. Like hearing the keys type and hearing the sound effects of it. I don't know if anybody's here into like mechanical keyboards or whatever, but I think like if you could maybe showcase like the key sound effects itself, like you typing, like, hold on real quick, like this. You know, like that little sound when you type it in. I don't know why, but people, including myself, love kind of hearing that little click, 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 click sound. So maybe if you kind of did that, added some kind of components into like, I guess what my core feedback would be is taking each product, thinking about TikTok, and think of how is each product like actually stories told and sold naturally on the platform, and then try to incorporate that into each individual thing. So if it's like the LED lights, then we got to have LED lights. For the keyboard, then it's the ASMR, it's up close type of thing. If it's the display screens, and it's them like doing some fake hacker shit or something that's like kind of funny or embarrassing that shouldn't be there. I think those kind of core things would just be kind of like, in my opinion, things that would drive a little bit more. Like even right here, if you're looking on the website right now, liveonclubhouse.com, there's 2 monitors, but I can't even see anything on the monitors. And maybe you did that to be neutral, you know, so you don't offend anybody or, you know, get disapproved or whatever. But you could have just put at least a wallpaper of a dog on one side barking and the cat on the other one being scared or something, you know, to kind of get someone to be like, oh shit, that's my dog, that's my cat. Or again, if you're trying to aim for the gaming community, maybe it's like I play StarCraft, so StarCraft on one side, Warcraft on the other side, and it's like, oh shit, I'm team StarCraft, fuck Warcraft or whatever, you know. So yeah, I don't know if that helps or not, or if that was like decent feedback. And then, oh, by the way, again, I would just put those LED lights color in the background, make it pop a little bit more.
Yeah, that was extremely helpful. Thank you so much. I don't know if anyone else has any other, like literally anything, like you can be as nitpicky or like just rip it to shreds, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I do have something to add. So your voiceover seems a little bit, not boring, but it's really not exciting at all. So if I were to remake this ad, I would put your face, like the talk to camera, for the first 3 seconds and like, hey guys, these are the 3 Amazon products you need if you work from home. Like, make it a little bit more exciting and make your voiceover exciting as well, because it's very doesn't really grab attention.
You know what's so funny is the one they. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go, Caleb.
I was gonna say the one they did go with. It was like shot during the day. There was no brown background, and yeah, I like definitely dialed up like the enthusiasm. That's so interesting. Sorry, please go ahead, Julia.
No, I just wanted to say, Caleb, that I did like the research of doing a video without showing your face in the first 3 seconds versus doing a video with your face in the first 3 seconds, then doing what you're supposed to do with the voiceover over it. And from what I've seen on TikTok in general, like the videos with your face for the first 3 seconds, like here are 3 steps on how to do this, but it's your face first, you know? Then you go into doing what you're doing with the voiceover. That always tends to work well. What Amanda said, basically.
That's right. If you can just sum up a bit of all that has been said, I think that well, there are 3 components, right? Like to a successful ad, I would say the 3 main ones. The first one is, as Julia mentioned and Amanda as well, is the first 3 seconds, right? Like you gotta grab the attention during these first 3 seconds. This is something that is very, very important. Second of all, after these 3 seconds, you gotta have like a content that is very appealing. Michael, like he gave a super detailed and great, like feedback about how to make that content actually appealing to people to keep watching that video, right? And at the end of that video, you gotta have like a clear call to action, right? Like the video is a bit long, probably like could be a bit shorter, like maybe like around 15-20 seconds max if you have like many products to showcase there. But like at the end of that, you gotta have a clear call to action so that people can click, know what to do right next. Because you have many, I would say, videos on TikTok where you see products, or like where you see like many different, I would say, like products and services, and people just like watch those videos and then just scroll to the next one, right? Like they'll go to the next one. So you gotta have a clear call to action there so that people know exactly what to do next, right? So that's my advice there.
Yeah, and just to add on to what like Kamal said, I don't know what rules they gave you or any type of guidelines, but in the first 3 seconds, it literally says like Amazon. So just being like part of Gen Z or millennials, right off the bat, we're like, oh, this is an ad. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Kamal, Amanda, and Julie, you have to go, right? Like I think you have like meetings and stuff you have to attend right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and end the room. If you wanted this slide deck, the replay, and then a bunch of examples of good and bad ads, just message Julia, or you can message me, but I prefer Julia because she has it. And then she could send you everything. And if you need any more, I guess, detailed help on TikTok ads, or if it's like a right fit for you and you don't want to waste your money or you don't want to miss out on an opportunity, also reach out to Julia, and then she can probably be the point person for that, because that's kind of their bread and butter and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. We'll do another room, I think, next Tuesday, next week, same time. So definitely hop in, and yeah, thanks.
Thank you for having us, Michael.
Yeah, likewise. It's been pretty fun.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.